Good evening, everyone, and welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, your YouTube messiah and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And talking about with this week's Raw, it is the go-home show Raw for the Rumble. Now, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but to me, it was a good Raw. It didn't have that go-home feel. And that's something that's been a bit of an issue with me lately as far as with the go-home shows. They either don't have that, they're either good and don't have that go-home feel, or or it wasn't really all that good of a show in general. And, you know, it's a big issue to me, personally, on that part, because, you know, I'm thinking as far as from a promoting standpoint. You know, you got this product, you got this pay-per-view coming up, you need to plug it, you need to push it, put an emphasis on it. You know, instead of just saying, yeah, you got John Cena going up against this guy on Sunday, you know, put an emphasis on the other show, on the other matches that night as well. You know, I mean, and this is the one thing you will hear me credit TNA for. So TNA Creative, I hope you guys aren't doing your Mike Tenay 3 bottles of bourbon diet right now while you're listening. What they do on the go-home show before any of their pay-per-views, they talk about they'll say, we have this match, and this match, and this match, and this match. Personally, I think WWE should take a page out of their book and do that. Say, well, yeah, our main event is John Cena versus Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins for the title in a triple threat match. But we also have the Royal Rumble itself, and this match, and this match, and this match. You know, help push that, because if you push the product, you're going to be able to push the content then. And then you could transition promoting the pay-per-view into the network, and then you'll more than likely get more subscribers. You know? But anyways, starting off with Raw. It was the Raw reunion show, and they started off with a bang, having Brock come out. In which case, I haven't done Paul's impression of him yet. I've done a lot of other people, but my client, Brock Lesnar. Okay, that was my best Paul Heyman saying Brock Lesnar impression. I give it a 4 out of 10. If you guys think otherwise, say something down below. Anyways, Brock came out, and just as Paul was about to speak, saying, "Ladies and gentlemen," Brock just grabs the mic. In which case, oh hell, he's pissed. If he ain't looking to have Paul be his mouthpiece. So he calls out Seth right off bat, says, "Come on out here, boy. I'm gonna whoop your ass." You know? And then next thing you know, Hunter and Steph come out with Kane and Show, and Hunter says to him point blank, "Hey, listen, I know you're upset. How about this? We'll take it to the back. I'll treat you to a nice juicy steak. Me and Paul will handle this like businessmen." In which case, all I thought was, I am definitely in the wrong line of work, because if I get mad at work, I get told I have to calm down. Brock Lesnar gets mad at work, and he gets frickin' treated with a porterhouse. How unfair is that? But yeah. And then just as next Paul just looks, he's like, "Listen guys, you're gonna want to handle this, because if we handle this like businessmen, if you handle it like businessmen, that'll be best for business. If Brock handles it, you're going to wind up, there's going to be bodies laying all over, and that's going to be worse for business. And then cue Seth up on the Tron, which was brilliant, just poking jabs at Brock. Seth is hands down probably the top heel in the company right now. You know, between all of his work with the Authority, you know, between all of his work with the Authority and the amount of crap he keeps throwing at whoever he's going up against, it's beautiful. I absolutely like it. You know, Seth's doing really good for himself on that part. You know, but he's antagonizing, poking at Brock. Then, of course, out comes Die. And seriously, John, what's with the shirt, man? I mean, look, I know I ain't one to talk as far as fashion-wise here, but that shirt just looked like it was bathed, like it was washed in Smurf blood. You know? I mean, if you want to talk about good timing, though, that was perfect timing, because you pretty much have Blue Tista almost all but out of everyone's minds, and now you introduce Blue Cena. It's a shame they weren't around when. It's a shame John didn't launch that shirt when Blue Tista came out, because then you could have had the two-man Blue Trip, you know, or the two Blue group, like that. Make them a tag team. No, nothing. Nah. You know, I'm trying here, folks. Work with me. Anyways, of course, John came out, did his normal spiel on how he's gonna kick Brock's ass, he's gonna kick Seth's ass. He only brought them back because he had to, and when he wins the title, he's gonna say the champ is here. Honestly, and look, I'm not shooting on the guy himself. When I crap on John Cena, I'm crapping about the character. His character is too one-dimensional, and honestly, he has beaten the odds so many frickin' times before, it is no longer feasible to even consider him an underdog. You can have him go do a 12-on-1 match, and yet somehow he'll still miraculously win. That's the big issue I got with John. They built him up to basically be like this frickin' god amongst men, and they didn't spend enough time building anyone else that could even attempt to look like they can make him fall, or at least drop down to his knees. You know, but yeah. Then after some back and forth banter for a bit, Hunter wound up saying, "We'll put you in a match tonight, and we'll put a vote out on the app saying that if the people are up for it and you win, we'll hire back Ziggler, Rowan, and Ryback." Which, honestly, can you just bring back Ziggler and Rowan? That's all I'm really asking for, you know. Ryback can go sit at home and, you know, keep on being a douchebag for all I care. You know, we all know how I feel about Ryroyd. I'm not going to go into detail on each and every episode. If y'all really want to know the story, go back and watch some of the other ones. But yeah, they put out the vote, and the vote later on that night, and 85% said yes, they wanted John to have that opportunity, because if he didn't win, he would then not be able to compete at the Rumble for the title. And really, why don't you just say that it was going to be that way, because we all knew that it was gonna. So yeah, on to the first match. First match of the night, and hands down, match of the night. Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt. Oh my god, it was so good to see Bryan back on TV and on Raw. Oh, you have no idea on how much I miss seeing that fuzzy little goat man. Special scenes on how now my son pretty much is now becoming a huge Daniel Bryan fan. You know, my son, he walks around with his little Daniel Bryan figure, constantly having him do yes, 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 and having him yell, "Fear the beard," which I absolutely love seeing. Yeah, but enough about my personal shit. I'm not trying to make this about me, I'm trying to make this about the show. Like I said, match of the night. Match of the damn night. I absolutely loved it. You know, these two, they had a nice, good, hard-hitting match. Didn't really need much storytelling for the match because, honestly, all it was with, you know, with Bryan, it's him building himself back up. You know, you could have Bryan go up again between this time last week, from last week up until the pay-per-view itself, like the minute he comes out from the Rumble, you could have him fight each and every person in the world and just have the story be that he's showing he's back and he's here to kick ass and he's gonna kick ass at the Rumble. Which, speaking of the Rumble, isn't it kind of funny? This time last year, everyone was all up and for Roman Reigns winning the Rumble when he was in it. And now that the fact that it looks like the Rumble's going to be tailored for him to win, everyone's shitting on the idea. Yeah, you all know who you are that are shitting on the idea about Roman winning. I'm not saying I'm all for it, but I at least ain't shitting all over the damn product and the show for it. Y'all are. That's why you guys are the Smarky McSmarkertons. Instead of bothering to think about, okay, maybe what ifs. You know, have some creative ideas. But back to Bryan and Wyatt. They were really good. Wyatt was good, focusing, showing that he was hitting the neck. And Bryan was on like Dolph Ziggler-like level, selling that neck injury. And man, I gotta tell you, for a guy that came back from neck surgery, he did not, and for being almost gone for a year, he did not lose a single step. It looks like he took like 2 or 3 days off. You know? That's it. I was freaking impressed with that. Not only that, his moveset didn't change one bit. He is still going out there doing those same kind of moves. I mean, we all know Austin had to change his moveset after he wound up getting hit, after he busted his neck. And Edge changed his moveset to a degree also after he had to get neck surgery. You know, but just the fact of that Bryan didn't change his one bit was beautiful. I absolutely loved it. You know, I am all behind Bryan on that fact. But the match, it wound up coming to an end. Wyatt wound up winning, sadly. You know, we all kind of figured that was going to happen. You know, especially seeing as on how a few minutes into the match, Kane came out and then just sat ringside. Just as Bryan was building momentum, getting ready to go and finish off Bray, Kane pulled Bryan off the apron, gave him a cheap shot, tossed him back in, and then next thing you know, Wyatt geared him up, gave him the kiss, and then wham, hit him with the Sister Abigail. It was a good, crisp match. I liked it. Like I said, my opinion, match of the damn night. Yep, Bray won. We all knew it was going to happen. Not to say that we wanted to see it happen, but yeah, did. Now, don't normally talk about promos or segments or vignettes or anything, but oh my god, probably the best promo, probably one of 2 of the best promos of the night was Hunter was in the back on the phone. Next thing you know, he gets a tap on the shoulder. He sees Nash and Hall. And then next thing you know, Shawn comes out. And they're all talking, doing the click reunion. And they're like, so yeah, where's Pac at? You know, he was saying he was mad he wasn't going to be here. And then next thing you know, you just see X-Pac coming through. doing that, and it was actually Sandow, and oh my god. Sandow was straight up a mirror image of X-Pac, because until X-Pac came out, I thought that was him. He went from being Mizdow to Sandpac, or X-Dow, or whatever you want to call. But, man, I thought Sandow's impression of Vince McMahon was his best. That was by far the best. Just seeing him come out there like that. Oh my god. That was way too good. I absolutely freaking loved that. But yeah, next matchup, it was Ambrose versus Bad News Barrett. Yeah, and this was a good match. It was a good match. I mean, Barrett and Ambrose, they did hit it off pretty good in the ring. You know, not taking away from it, it wasn't a bad match. It just, my opinion, it wasn't good enough to be match of the night. You know, but they did show that they were working for it, and that's what you gotta go for, you know? Have that in-house competition saying like, well, damn, these guys did a better match than me. Hey, we gotta do a better match when we go up. We gotta do better than those guys when we go out there. Alright? You know, and yeah, you got... That should really be done more than anything to help push guys to go and better themselves. You know? I mean, but yeah, it was a good match. You know, match came to an end. Barrett went to go hit Wasteland. Ambrose countered, hit it with the Dirty Deeds with the underhook DDT. Miss him seeing the headlock driver, but you know what? Having my finisher once be the DDT. Always like seeing a good DDT like that, and that was a good one. You know, so Ambrose got the win with that, 1, 2, 3. You know, they're obviously building him to be one of the big underdogs to win the Rumble. If Ambrose does win, emphasis on if, you know, that's going to be great to see. You know, but if not, you know, I could see Ambrose winning. If not next year's, then the year after. Next matchup, tag team action. Big E and Kofi from New Day versus the Masters of the WWE Universe. And real quick thought right here. They got Adam Rose following around on his tail all the time now. So, if, like I said before, you have Cesaro be He-Man, Tyson Kidd be Man-at-Arms, Natalya be Taylor, and now you can have Adam Rose be Orko. There you go. And yeah, it could work. And as a huge He-Man fan, that would please me to no end. You just grab one of Natty's and Tyson's cats, paint it green, and next thing you know, you could have him be Cringe. That would work. Maybe not the whole painting the cat green thing, because, you know, then you'll probably get PETA and all that kind of crazy shit on you, saying animal cruelty and all that. But one thing about with the New Day that did impress me was they were actually talking on their way to the ring, talking about their message, which is something that I said before that was their big issue. They needed to put more of it's nice to see them doing that. You know, just, wow, that is a really weak message. Saying you gotta stay positive, otherwise you're gonna let the rage out. You know, and if you let the rage out, the roster's gonna be depleted. I mean, if that was coming from somebody from the likes of Brock Lesnar or Big Show, or even if he was still employed with WWE, Great Khali, I would possibly believe it. I would believe it. But given on how their track records have been, I'm sorry. That's a pretty rough pill to swallow, man. You know? I mean, instead of saying you gotta, instead of saying you gotta stay positive, otherwise you'll let the rage out, and if the rage comes out, you get lined up. You'll deplete the roster. You know, instead of saying that, why not say something else like, you know, gotta stay positive because once you're positive, you can wind up achieving anything or something like that. Yeah, it's something simple. But yeah, as far as what the tag team match goes, I liked it. It was a good, solid tag match, and again, as a tag team guy, this is the kind of tag team action I want to see. You know, I thought it was a good match, and you know, I'm not gonna lie, I had my doubts about Kid and Cesaro teaming at first. You know, much like everyone did. Next thing you know, now look at them, and they're freaking blowing it out they're blowing it out of the yard. Out of the, especially with their offense, man. You know, Cesaro holding up for a vertical suplex, he'll hold him and then just keep him like this for a minute, and then go over to Kid. All right, come on, tag me. All right, and then Kid will come over, do a crossbody onto him while he's suplexed, and probably my new favorite tag team move. Cesaro will go do the swing, and then Kid hit the drop kick right on him. Oh my God, right in the mush. That's timing right there. That's timing, and that took some serious work to get in. You know, I absolutely loved it. It was a good, solid match. Ending was something I completely did not expect whatsoever. You know, Cesaro and Kid had the offense going heavy and strong. Next thing you know, Cesaro had Kofi up on his shoulders, went over into his corner to go tag Kid. Kofi kicked Kid off the apron and rolled Cesaro up, wound up coming down, rolled Cesaro up, and then got the 1-2-3. So New Day wound up winning, and they had Rosebuds party with them, doing the New Day kind of thing. Which, you know, honestly, you should just have Rose just snap, say to hell with it. I don't want these Rosebuds no more, and then go to Leo Kruger. You know, I think that would work best, because you know, you already got Rose showing that he's neutral, being a neutral heel, you know, right now, but just have him go full blown heel, and you know, that would work. That would really work for him. And before I get into the next match, I already talked about one of the best promos of the night. The next one, the 15-year-old in me was marking out to no end, because you had Nash, Hall, and Pac come out, cutting a promo, talking on how they were talking about the NWO's heyday. Next thing you know, boom, Ascension come out, and they were doing their spiel. And then next thing you know, Bradshaw got up and got on the mic saying, "You guys ain't the best tag team out there." And all I could think is, if the Ascension beat up Bradshaw, I will never say one bad thing about them ever again. They could talk about any team they want. I will never say one bad thing about them ever again. But, you know, but Bradshaw, JBL wound up saying, you know, I figured you boys would go and try and do something like this, so I put in a call to an old friend of mine, and then next thing you know, out comes Farouk, and they got the APA shirts on, and then they stand in the ring with them, and then out comes the New Age Outlaws. And oh man, because this is where the 15-year-old in me was marking out, because you had NWO in this corner of the ring. You had the New Age Outlaws, who were DX, in this corner of the ring. So you basically had two of the biggest factions in wrestling history, or modern day wrestling history I should say, standing in the same ring at the same time, and just, yeah. I mean, they proceeded to beat the living shit out of the Ascension. They, you know, but can work with that. You know, especially since they announced later on that night that they booked a match between the Ascension and the Outlaws for the Rumble. You know, I can work with that. You know, it's, see them go at it. But, yeah, next matchup, it was an ST Divas match. Get your penicillin in now, people. It's ST Divas time. Paige and Eddie versus Summer Rae and Alicia, and for some odd reason, in whoever's infinite wisdom, they felt it was necessary to have the Bellas doing commentary, and they were just sitting there like this, talking the whole time. Dude, can somebody slap them to see if they're either sleeping or if they sound like they were either sleeping or on a phone sex line. You know, and they did a horrible job at putting over any of the competitors in there, saying that, you know, saying on if anyone would be even attempt to be competition to try and take the title away, you know, or something like that. I mean, they also plugged about some ST Divas tag match at the Rumble, but honestly, the women's division is so far into the crapper, it is hard for me to try and pick up and defend it, you know, whatsoever. I mean, if you want real women's wrestling, go on YouTube, look for Mia Yim versus Athena from AIW. Boom, there you go. That's real women's wrestling right there. You know, you want to see that. You want to see what WWE's equivalent is? You have my pity. Anyways, Paige wound up getting the win for the team using the Scorpion Crosslock, and yeah, that was pretty much the highlight of that match. Next match, Rusev versus Truth, and you know, do I really need to even go into detail on this match? Rusev won. Next match, Miz versus one of the Usos. I think it was the one that's married to Naomi. I'm not 100% sure. Kind of hard for me to tell. I just call them Uso 1 and Uso 2. So let's just say it's Uso 1. You know, again, best part about this match, best part about any Miz match is Mizdow. And as much as it pains me to say it, I think Mizdow is starting to make Miz get over on me. Still don't want to see him do a figure 4 though, but yeah, I mean, Mizdow just draws money, and the fact that they got them doing a rematch for the tag titles at the pay-per-view, perfect. You guys missed the shot last month. Do it now. Have Miz get mad. Have them lose the match. Miz get mad. Take it out on Mizdow, and then Mizdow go on his own again. Especially with all this momentum going with him now that the fact that he is over with the crowd, and man, he can launch right into the stratosphere on that. No lies. Yeah, Uso 1 wound up getting the win in the match with the big splash. Wasn't really a big fan of this match. It felt more like a time filler, but we always can't get good shows. So we work our good matches, we work with what we can. Next matchup, it was main event time. John Cena in, wait for it, drum roll. Oh wait, that's right. Yeah, I ain't got that kind of power like Hunter and Steph do, where they can get their own personal drummer and trumpet player at a beck call, but we all can't be that damn good. Anyways, Cena versus Seth Rollins with Kane with Big Show in a 3-on-1 handicap match, and Hunter and Steph are sitting ringside. Yeah, I thought it was, you know, I thought it was what it was, you know, your normal Cena against all odds sort of thing. you might as well have just wrote odds on the back of everyone's back, so that way they could say Cena has beaten the odds once again. But in this time around, it actually looked like Cena actually wasn't going to win for a split second there. You know? I mean, the match was fairly okay. You know? I'm just still kind of laughing at the fact of they keep trying to joke around. They keep showing, you know, they do these things with Big Show, like Cena's struggling to pick Big Show up and then boom, he collapses on top of him. Whereas he does that 5 million times before he finally is able to. And aside from that, you know, Big Show's now saying, no one can push me over, no one's going to be able to eliminate me at the Royal Rumble. No one can eliminate me. And all I could think is, really? Cesaro did. So did Rock. Rock did all that time ago. You know? Cesaro wound up, he picked you up for a scoop slam, took 2 or 3 steps, and then tossed you out. So what the hell does that tell you about that man's freaking strength? That's just pure God-given strength right there. But yeah, they wound up, it's just as it looked like Cena was legitimately gonna lose. Boom! Out comes the man, Sting! Sting showed up, and I tip my hat to Booker on this. I don't know if many people noticed it, but he wound up even pulling out his old line, Sting's old line from when he was in TNA, saying, "It's the Icon!" You know? I don't know if many people saw that or not, but the fact is he did it, and that was really good. Really liked seeing that. Sting, he came out, you know, just gave a stare down. Next thing you know, and Seth, who's still fuming mad, I should say, over at Sting for Survivor Series, was over by the ropes calling him like, come on, come on, come on. And then Cena, boom, got a quick roll-up and got the 1, 2, 3. Not a fan of quick roll-ups on wins when it's the underdog, when it's supposed to be the person that's the underdog winning. I mean, I'm more of a fan of when you have the heel do a quick roll-up like that. When it's the baby face, it don't feel right to me, but, you know, I mean, if Seth was a little more fatigued from fighting, I would have been okay with it. But anyways, Cena got the 1, 2, 3, and then beat feet through the crowd real quick, and then next thing you know, boom! Then comes Brock Lesnar, who just proceeds to just lay out everyone in front of him. He goes, takes out Kane, takes out Seth, picks up Big Show, and wham! F5's the sumbuck. And keep in mind, when he did that with Show before, when he was WWE champ back in the day, when they had the brand extensions, Big Show was about maybe 500 plus. Now he's dropped about maybe 50 to 100 pounds, and he's about 4 something. So either way, Show may have dropped some weight to him, but the fact that Brock was able to pick him up and do that like he was a freaking, like it was a freaking box of tissues, that's just scary strong right there. I would be afraid to have to go up against Brock Lesnar. You know? I can't think of a person out there that wouldn't be afraid to want to go up against him, because that guy just looks like he needs 2 bolts on his neck to look like Frankenstein's monster. But yeah, Brock completely destroyed everyone in front of him, and then just proceeded to leave. Like, hey, I told you. And Paul even said, Brock handles this, there's going to be bodies laying everywhere. Brock handled it, look what happened. And that's the time for this week's show. So, like on normal, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at TimVicious. Make sure y'all look for my backup account, Tim_Vicious. I get put in Twitter jail every now and again. Don't forget to check out all these cool ass cats right here on Twitter. Vicky Earls, make sure y'all check out Vicky's YouTube page. I am Danny Sunday, Mucky Morse, Axel Mulligan. Make sure y'all check out Axel's YouTube show, Axel's YouTube channel, Axel's Analysis. You know, he covers NXT, indie shows, Ring of Honor. Hell of an educated fan, quite possibly one of the most educated fans I've ever had the courtesy of having a conversation with, talking about the sport and the business. And contrary to popular belief, there are a difference between the two. Sunday segue, can't wait until I can get back on again there, Kenny. Sinfully Sabrina. Sabrina, honey, thank you for everything you've done to help with me on supporting this. Once I can, I'm going to be throwing something your way to help you get back up. Cranky Grandpa, Legion Lady Aaron, Alba Ben, Just a Stupid Mark. Make sure y'all check out Ollie Ben's and Mask Mark's Paint and Mask Connection. I was on there. We did a 2014 year-end wrap-up. Also, make sure y'all look for my client, who, as I have said before, is the true Raw General Manager, Bronx Bitch 4. That's the number 4, ever. And, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.